I would say the number one question that I get is how much house can I really afford in 2026? So, we're going to break it down for you. First of all, my name is Amy DeBusk, and I am a certified mortgage planner. I specialize in first time homebuyer loans, and I have helped a lot of savvy first time homebuyers just like you achieve the American dream of homeownership over the past 26 years. And today, I want to break it down. How much house can you really afford? So, if you watched the first video in the series, we talked about your 90-day plan. And one of the first things that I talked to a client about is really getting micro on how much you think you can afford in a housing payment. So when you're talking about a total payment of principal that you pay back to the mortgage for the loan, the interest that you're going to be charged for that loan, property taxes that you pay to the county, homeowners insurance, God forbid the house burns down, you're insured, and then probably some private mortgage insurance, which is the insurance policy that banks charge for putting less than 20% down. And then if you're buying in an area that has homeowners association dues, you might have an HOA attached to that housing payment. Or if you buy in a brand new area, you may have more property taxes than normal. It's called Melrose for the infrastructure that you're buying in, the infrastructure of the neighborhood that you're buying in. So all those things taken in consideration, how much do you think you can afford? So let's say you're saying, no more, I cannot afford any more than $4,000 a month. What we're going to do is we're going to reverse engineer that payment, and we're going to figure out what that looks like for you in a mortgage purchase price. So, more you tell us what you can afford, total payment, then we design the mortgage payment based on a few things. So, based on loan product, based on your down payment ability or down payment assistance that you may need. And then we look at that mortgage payment versus how much you said you could afford to pay. And we reverse engineer it into the purchase price. So there you have it. That is how we, in a nutshell, reverse engineer how that looks for you. Now, interest rates can skew how much you can afford by the tune of about $300 to $500, depending on where rates are at. I always encourage people not to get too much hung up over the interest rate because the interest rate really doesn't affect your mortgage as much as one would think. Give you example. Let's say you get an interest rate of 6% versus an interest rate of 5%. On a $500,000 purchase, that 1% is going to lower your payment about $300 a month. Now, $300 is nothing to sneeze at. However, in the grand scheme of things, $300 is not the bulk of the payment. So, there you have it. That is how we're going to determine how much house you can afford. If you would like to do a deeper dive on how much house you can afford, you can log on to talkingwithamy.com. That's talkingwithamy.com and book your free 30-minute discovery call today.